Yeehaw, soldiers! It's your boy, the Anime Sage, coming to another video, and this is essentially a bit of a quicker video of me talking about what fanfics you should read. Now, I usually get a bit of influence in terms of some of my Naruto lists from fanfics I have read over the years, and to me, I feel like I should at least give some of you guys some of these quality fanfics that, you guys can read, and maybe one day I can read out some fanfics that you guys can enjoy in terms of quality and stuff like that, as I talk about, as I read over the events inside of fanfic while essentially minimal editing and stuff like that. But again, fanfic range could be pretty fun, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm gonna get into a couple fanfics right about now. So first off, I want to go into the category of one of the fanfics that I really do talk about a lot. The first one is Legacy. Now, Legacy is a very interesting fanfic in my opinion. Now, Legacy is basically Naruto having the powers of the Uchiha clan, but he also has a bit of other lineage, such as being related to Hashirama Senju in a roundabout way from Kushina in that fanfic, as well as him being paired up with Hinata, who is equally as OP as him in a way. Plus you have my boy Naruto essentially having events in his life such as, dealing with Sasuke pretty early on and stuff like that. You have Itachi involved in the story. You have, dragons involved in the story. You have the Fox summoning contract involved in the story. It's a lot of stuff that I'm not going to essentially spoil here because I want to keep, the events in the fanfic a little bit locked up and stuff like that because I want you guys to read for yourself. But I think it's a very quality fanfic that a lot of people can read and stuff like that. And to me, I think this fanfic deserves a lot more attention. I think it should be read a lot. I believe some people have made series on that type of stuff. I believe Storm Videos made a series where he's reading Legacy. But I feel like a lot more people should read the actual fanfic. And, it could be a very enjoyable experience at the end of the day. So, yeah. I find this to be a very quality fanfic. It does end at 69 chapters. But in all seriousness, I feel like it's one of the more higher quality fanfics you can ever read. So I recommend that one, of course. The next one for me is, of course, Tales from Whirlpool. Now, this one's a bit of a different fanfic than I think a lot of you guys would start to expect. Now, this fanfic involves, Naruto being paired up with Hinata again. And in all honesty, this is an interesting, fanfic in my opinion because it has Kurama being good at the beginning of the story. There's a misunderstanding and stuff like that. It also has a Naruto becoming a Steel Master, and it has him a couple of new takes from the original story, such as Naruto learning the Shao Shuriken Jutsu, which honestly I would have given him if that were my story, if I was Kishimoto and stuff like that. And honestly, it also gives him some other cooler jutsu. He gets into wind chakra nature pretty early, as does Sasuke, and Sakura actually does develop well as a character within his fanfic. I think a lot of you guys would actually find Sakura to be a very good character if you read this fanfic. There's not necessarily any bashing towards the character, and she actually improves in multiple areas, especially when they also have a bit of a second Chunin exams. Yeah, that exists in this fanfic as well. There's also a bit of time skip where Naruto has some very cool stuff happen to him, and he actually gets free chakra nature in this one, or nature transformations in fire, water, and wind. So Naruto in that one's a bit of a powerhouse. Again, I'm not going to talk about the actual events in the story and how we get to that certain point, but it is a very good fanfic that I think a lot of you guys read, and it was a slight inspiration for me to create what if Naruto was in Whirlpool. And because Whirlpool Village and stuff like that, but of course it's my own story and stuff like that. So yeah. A lot of my own OCs and all this other type of stuff, so yeah. Next one on the list that I really think a lot of people should read is the fanfic called A Better Route. Now, this one is essentially involving Minato adopting Obito from, the Uchiha clan because, there's some stuff that he goes through and stuff like that. I know Obito is an actual orphan IRL, but it takes a bit of a different, form of the story. And that's kind of why we're here with, A Better Route. It will probably most likely involve, let's just say, Obito getting involved with Rin, as in they marry, actually. I'm not going to say how and what and stuff like that, but it's a Rin and Obito pairing. And it's something that I think a lot of you guys can enjoy, and it's also completed. So it's 155 chapters. It's a very long read. Tales of Return of Whirlpool is around 92, by the way. But 155 chapters, but I think it's a pretty good quality fanfic. And I'm just going to leave that a little bit, unsaid, just so you guys can experience the fanfic for yourself. Next fanfic I know a lot of you guys have been talking about this one, and you know what? I agree with you. It's called Better Left Unsaid. Now, Better Left Unsaid is essentially a Naruto fanfic where Mizuki doesn't essentially tell Naruto that he's the Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki, and and it kind of takes a bit of the story of what would happen from there. So it does end up having Naruto on Team 10. I believe he replaces Choji, and I believe plus Ultraman did do a couple reigns with this fanfic. Now, I do recommend it. It does have some pretty cool moments, stuff like that. It is, again, a Naruto Ino pairing versus Naruto Hinata pairing, and it has some funny moments and stuff like that. And, you know, I feel like it's something that a lot of people can enjoy. So, yeah, I recommend this fanfic wholeheartedly, and I hope you guys, you know, check it out. It is a bit of a, you know, I believe it's around 80 chapters so far, and I don't think it's completed yet, but it's something I think a lot of people can, again, enjoy. So, yeah. My next fanfic is for my, you know, Aram lovers, you know, my Aram boys and stuff like that. But it's actually one of the more quality fanfics I've ever read. It is called Drifting. So this is actually a very unique take on Naruto as some type of person who's actually seen as an idiot, but is actually pretty good when it comes to a combat sense, and it's insanely strong. He actually has some pretty crazy feats throughout the entirety of this fanfic, which you could make an argument maybe it's not the greatest, maybe it's not, but it's kind of how Naruto is set to be that way due to his unconventional nature and him being unpredictable. As a character, he actually does have forms of development, but not really as much, in my opinion, but that's because he's more so a rounded character and stuff like that. And to me, there's the Aram aspect is pretty interesting because there are some unique characters that are in his little Aram. A couple of them being Tayuya, with a different take on her character completely, Kin, and of course Isaribi. And I think there are a couple more, but you get my drift. Now, that's something neither here nor that's something that I think a lot of you guys will find pretty interesting about this entire story. But it has some pretty cool moves and stuff like that. Sasuke and Sakura are interesting characters as well. Well, I guess you can say more tolerable in a way to Naruto and stuff like that. And, you know, I feel like a lot of you guys will actually enjoy the story as much as I did when I read this back in high school, I believe. So, yeah. Pretty good fanfic in my opinion, and I think a lot of you guys will enjoy that. Now, yeah. Now, I'm going to move on to my last fanfic that I'm going to recommend to you guys. And that fanfic is called Ninja of the Omnitrix. If you didn't get the hint right away, this is a Naruto Ben 10 crossover. Now, what does this mean? Well, this was a fanfic that I think a lot of people can enjoy. The last update was in 2016. I forget if it's finished or not, but it's a pretty good. I feel like based on what I've read, when I read it and stuff like that, it was a pretty good quality fanfic that kind of inspired the What If Naruto Had the Omnitrix series. So if you like Ben 10 and if you like Naruto, I really do think that you're going to enjoy Naruto having the Omnitrix. It's a very I think it's pretty interesting with how they did the entirety of what they did with this type of fanfic, and I think again you guys will enjoy it as Naruto has interactions with guys like Azimuth. So yeah, have fun with that. Alright, that's about it for, I guess this list. Now, if you have any fanfics that you guys, have read and stuff like that, that might jolt my memory because I probably read that fanfic before, or if you think there's a fanfic I should have also talked about in this video, I'll probably make another part to this, or I'm probably going forward, I'll probably make more parts to this going forward and make just like a series or something like that, because if you guys like these, fanfic type videos or recommendations, and stuff like that, I don't mind making them, so yeah. So again, let me know if you have any fanfics that you have read that you think are personally great, or something that probably could jolt my memory because I probably read it before, or maybe a new fanfic that maybe I haven't read before. Who knows? And I'll probably check it out and probably put it on my list and stuff like that. And also I do have some fanfics on my list that I also didn't get to here, but I don't want to make this a long video, so yeah. Anyways, thank you all for watching this video. This has been your boy, the Anime Sage. Sign out. Peace. 70 Shay, close us out. Peace. Yorta. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, almost forgot. Shout out to my $10 patrons, they're on the screen, and also, shout out to my $20 patron X1 Gamer and my $50 patron Anguish. Alright, that's the end of this video. This has been your boy Anime Sage, signing out. Peace. Your host, Stephanie Shea, closes out. Bye-bye. Peace.
Hi, this is Stephanie Shea, voice actress for Sailor Moon, Hinata, Orihime, and you are watching Anime Sage.